Hello and welcome to another installment of the Star Wars Vintage Collection Action Figure Review. Today we have the Jawa, or Jawas, as you can see. Plenty. Plural Jawas. Lots of Jawas. The Jawa was one of the original 12 action figures that Kenner produced, and there's two original Kenner ones there. So I wanted to show the evolution of the Jawa and how it ended up how it is like today. It's pretty interesting. So in 1977, by the way, this is not a real vinyl Jawa. The cape is a repro. The gun is not. So the Jawas first appeared like this in action figure form. These, if they're real, not like this fake vinyl cape, but if they're real, they go for a lot of money. But this is how the Jawas first appeared as action figures in 1977. Very little, there's only 4 points of articulation. You got the arms and the legs, that's it, right? So very basic action figure. So then they created this Jawa, which is the same Kenner Jawa, but they actually made a cloth cloak, or soft goods cloak, which is pretty good. I mean, either way, they're kind of neat. I like the vinyl cape because it goes with like the Obi-Wan and the Darth Vader from that era. But I like this version too, and he also came with a ion blaster. But once again, four points of articulation. The head did not move. So fast forward to 2019, and that's the Jawa you see on the card. That's VC 161, came out in 2019. And what's really interesting about this, me personally, I'm not a fan of the molded cloaks, especially when the whole character is covered with the cloak. I feel that it detracts from the action figure and the playability and other things that you might like in an action figure. But this is the Jawa that's in the card there. So this is the Jawa VC 161. It's a nice sculpt. Don't get me wrong, it's a really nice sculpt. But to me, it's just like a blob of plastic. It has insert joints on the elbows, so it can move. The legs have insert joints, but it doesn't matter because this is like a big giant, plastic shroud that doesn't move. He's carrying an ion blaster that Jawas use to stun droids, and it can even stun living creatures as well. He also has a side pistol that's in the package there. This has 5 pieces of articulation, or 6, so it could turn at the waist, right? The head could turn, but it's the bandolier and the strap for the holster hinder its movement. So it looks pretty good, but as far as being a definitive version, I don't think so. But it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting take on it. So it's okay. Let me move on to another Jawa, which I kind of like. This one is actually from 2009. Can you believe it? 2009 Legacy Collection. It comes with a security droid, which is this bad boy. So this is, I guess, an initial attempt at making the soft goods for the Jawa. So what they did was, it's really nicely sculpted, and this time the head can turn much better, right? And you have the insert joints on the arms. It's got a ball point on the head, and if you look at the legs, they can't bend, but they can move this way. So there's no insert joints on the legs. So this character has an interesting look. It's got the double bandoliero, right? The sculpting is nice. The deco or paint looks really good. It's got a weathered look to it, especially his chest area. He's got the smaller pistol that you see in the carded figure. And this figure came out in 2009. It's actually a pretty good version of the Jawa. They made a bunch of them, but I'm just showing you like the basics because, they have a bunch of straight vinyl Jawas. They have some half with cloth. And then, I think this is a nice example, but I think the best one is the one I'm going to show you next. Let me just remove the security droid. So I think this is a definitive version of the Jawa. It's all cloth cloth. Good. This is Teeka from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, the really not so good TV show that Disney put out. But the figure is excellent. I mean, it's really, really good. We has like this little vest, plastic vest. The bandolier is great. The head can move, right? It's really cool. The details are excellent, right? You can see on the back of the hood, it's got things to tie it down, right? So it has the, on the arms are actually set up like to keep the cloth flowing and fully out, right? It comes with an ion blaster to immobilize droids. But what's really cool about this figure, so it has the insert joints on the arms, elbows, right? So, and then if you look at the legs, it doesn't. It has straight. Once again, have a figure this small with the insert joints on the knees might be difficult for the figure to stand up. But this is a really good version. I think it's definitely a definitive version of the Jawa. And there's also one that's in the Mos Eisley playset that's coming out. But this is a really nice figure. And the one in the Mos Eisley playset that's coming out is also like this, fully cloth, with the exception of the head. And I like the fact that the Jawa can look around and do things, whereas the old ones couldn't do it. So yes, this is, in my opinion, the definitive version of the Jawa. This is the 2022 Teeka VC258. And I think when I see the next one that comes with the Mos Eisley Street setup, I think it's going to be just as good. I think it's going to be more of the darker brown that we've come to know when we look at Jawas on screen. But yes, I believe this is the definitive version, and you shouldn't look much further than this, or maybe the other one if you like more than one Jawa. But yes, I think this is it. And it comes with some junk, because there's a junk trader. It's got pieces of junk. This is another. So yeah, it's definitely a good figure. I think it's a definitive one. So thank you for watching this episode. I look forward to bringing you more. Have a great day.